Church renovation is always a challenge. That's one of the things about having big, beautiful, historical buildings is that to upkeep them is very expensive. This church actually had a major restoration in the mid-1980s. There was actually a fire here, and apparently it started in the back. There were some votive candles, and it's still not clear how it started, but that was in the 1980s. So there was fire damage and a lot of smoke damage. So, well, the church was brought up to code. At that time, there were no indoor bathrooms. Now we have, behind that glass wall, we have some handicap accessible restrooms. So things like that have been done, but we really need to do some major work because it's an old building. A lot of the systems like plumbing, electrical, we have the old swamp coolers, evaporative coolers, which besides being noisy, they're not that efficient. And when it's hot and humid, they don't do any good. So, and then we have an old boiler system for heating, and the lighting we want to change, of course, to LED lighting. And so there needs to be a lot of work. The windows or frames of the windows that are wood. The bell tower needs some structural work because the tower, some of the parts are just crumbling. And so there's many things that have to be done. So it's a major campaign that we're embarking on. I think the contribution from the local, I've never really thought about it, but it's going to be minimal. I think even less than a quarter. Why? Because the people in the barrio, this barrio actually statistically is one of the poorest neighborhoods in the United States, the barrio itself. Now we have people that come to the church that live in other parts of the city, and they're a little bit better off economically. We also, the fact that this church continues and sustains itself is because we get a lot of outside donations. People that either like the work of the Jesuits here or they were parishioners here. The main donor right now, it's a carrot stick hanging out here. We still don't have it. It's actually it's a fund. It's a very prestigious fund out of Philadelphia. It's called National Fund for Sacred Places, and they give grants to churches, and they not only they analyze the building, but they also want to see what significance that church has in the community. So we applied, and there were like 100 and some applicants, 120 or so, and only about 12 got the full grant, which was $250,000. We were the only church in Texas that got the full grant. But it's a matching grant, so we have to match it 2-to-1. So we have to come up with $500,000 to be able to access that grant. Discovered through time is that proportionally, people that are poor give more than the people who are rich. In my mind about that, because you just see people, they're generous and they want to give. And well, to do the church itself, if we do all that we'd like to do, including changing the pews and so on, we're pricing it now because we did an architectural assessment, and they actually checked out things, checked out the plumbing, checked out structure. But for the church, we're thinking about $3 million, roughly, which is, for us, is a lot of money. For other institutions, it's not much, but for us, it's a lot of money. So